Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Grave Reviews. My name is Chris, and today I've checked out the new Shudder movie, The Sadness. And you might be thinking, is this referring to your YouTube numbers, Chris? No. This is a Shudder original, and is directed by one Rob Jabbaz. Jabbaz. And also edited and written by him. So this is a Rob Jabbaz vehicle. I'm just gonna stop saying his name because I'm pretty sure I'm saying it wrong. So the movie is about a virus, a pandemic, that infects people with a zombie-like thing. Although not quite zombies, more like 28 days later rage virus thing, but they still have the ability to reason, sort of. But they are becoming these like sadistic murderers who enjoy torture. I saw a bunch of people reference the Garth Ennis comic book series Crossed, which I haven't read, but he's the guy who did Preacher as well. Very similar premise. And in this movie, you also have this young couple who get separated and are trying to journey back to each other. It's a movie that is light on story, but that's the premise of the movie. We'll just say some hijinks ensue. So I had heard that this was supposed to be a really violent, gory movie. And well, it is, yeah, definitely, yep. It is a very depraved film. Not very thought-provoking, but I found it to be very entertaining, save for a few things about it, which I'll unpack here in a moment. It's great looking with really good effects. It's very, very gory and very sadistic, very depraved, very violent, very nihilistic movie. It can be unsettling, and I think if you don't like movies that get into really dark things happening, this might not be one for you. It has some social commentary that it touches on at points with, like, I don't want to say like wokeness, but there's an element to it where an old man sits down on the train next to this woman who's reading and just keeps pressuring her, and it's uncomfortable, and he gets offended when she tells him to stop. And so they're going for something there with that message, because it's like, okay, yeah, this is something we deal with in society, but then ultimately they don't have anything to say about it, so I don't really understand. And then there's also references to like doctors not being trusted, and that's how the pandemic spreads. Like that would ever happen. What kind of movies? Am I right, guys? So yes, this movie is depraved and dark, and then it covers subject matter that I wish it didn't, because I'm all for like the just ridiculous murder scenes in this movie. But what really just kind of rubs me the wrong way is when they start introducing all the rape sequences. It's a subject that happens way too often to people, and so it's too real for me. Like, it just feels like it's put in there as a way to shock the audience, but with the gore and the violence already, I was shocked enough. I didn't need that aspect, and I'm not sure what it adds to the overall message you're trying to get out in this movie. Or maybe I'm missing and misunderstanding the message. I don't know. And I'm not here to judge if that didn't bother you in the movie. I just don't like it. I don't like the I spit on your grave movies and stuff like that. I don't know. Again, it gets a little too real for me. And not that there's not like good movies that cover this subject matter, like Irreversible and stuff. They're really hard to watch, and that's kind of the point of a lot of it. And in this, it just adds to the shock value as opposed to like talking about the subject matter. Does that make sense? I don't know. The movie goes from what seems like shocking scene to shocking scene to shocking scene. So you have these plot beats of the characters slowly moving around the town or whatever, but the story isn't really developing, and it never really goes anywhere beyond just ridiculous, shocking, gory sequences. But I just wish there was more to it. It just feels like a mile wide but an inch deep. Kind of like my butthole? What? Why? There's also like a reveal in like the third act where it's convenient to the plot what happens and the characters who get involved. Doesn't really feel natural, but by that point I really didn't care. I already understood what the movie was. So The Sadness. So it's out on Shudder. If any of this sounds interesting, I would recommend it. I think I would give it a 7 out of 10. I enjoyed it. wish it didn't get into certain subject matter, and I probably would have enjoyed it more, and if it had more of a developed story. But there is some really cool, interesting sequences in this movie, and it continually ramps up. And by the time it was over, I was entertained. So yeah, that's The Sadness. Also not about my love life, but could be, I guess. So that's gonna do it, guys, for The Sadness. If you've seen it, let me know what you think. Let me know what I should be watching, and I will catch you here next time. Goodbye.